Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by today. Thank you for clicking on this video. So here I have some yucca roots and fresh coconut. This is the best snack ever. So this video is inspired by Lady FK Kitchen. She made a video like this and she reminded me of my grandmother who passed last year November. My grandma died last year November, so I miss her so much. So when I saw Lady FK made this video, it brought back a lot of memories between me and my grandma. So I want to show you how to make this. I have my yucca roots here and my 2 fresh coconuts. You want to use mature coconut. How will you know if it is the matured one? You will see that it will be browner than the other one that is not mature. The ones that are not mature are not very brown. So I'm going to use this yucca root. This is yucca root. Back home in Nigeria, back home in Africa, in Nigeria, because it all depends on which part of Africa that you are from. We have different names for this particular yucca root. Here in the States, they call it yucca roots, but yucca root. But back home in Nigeria, we called it cassava. I think another African country calls it tapioca. So if you know other names that they call this, we call it, in my dialect, we call it iwa. So it has many names. Okay, so if you know another name for this, please share it in the comment section below. So as you can see, I am cutting my cassava. I'll be mixing it. I can call it cassava or tapioca or yucca. Just know that it is the same thing that I'm talking about. I cut it into 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Yes, 5 big chunks. So, and as you can see, I am peeling this cassava, this yucca root. This is exactly the way that my grandmother taught me. I'm telling you, this video Lady FK made me, I cried because I miss my grandma so much. She taught me how to make this. She taught me how to cook our traditional food, and this is one of it. So I miss her so much. So she actually taught me how to peel this cassava like this. I remember when I did it the first time, I didn't get it right, and I did not get it right. So she actually grabbed a knife from me and then the cassava from me, and she showed me how to peel it, because the back is a little bit hard, so you have to be careful, especially if you're doing it for the first time. Okay, you want to be careful. But since I have done this over the years, I am used to it. So that's why I'm peeling it very easily, because my grandma had taught me how to do it well, and I used to do it with her over the years, and I'm perfectly fine with it now. Okay, you can see I'm peeling it so easily. So I remember vividly when I was in high school, I used to go with her to the farm. After I'm back from when I came back from school, I will drop my school bag, I will take a nap, take a nap, and then in the evening she will take me to the farm. She will say, hey, Suruvia. She used to call me Suruvia. You know, grandmas have different names, these special names that they give to us. And because English is our second language, my grandmother didn't understand English at all. She only understood my language. And Sylvia being an English name, I don't even know why my parents didn't give me a name in my dialect, okay? But they gave me Sylvia, which is an English name. My grandmother used to call me Suruvia. Sylvia. Some people back home, some of my relatives, they call me Sylvia. But you know, it is really Sylvia. Okay, but I really wish that my parents gave me a traditional name, but that is okay. My grandmother was able to call me the way pronounce my name the way she could, and I was comfortable with it. Okay. So here, after peeling my cassava, my yucca root, I am washing it to make sure that you want to wash it properly, to make sure that the sand is completely off, because you know it is roots. It is just like carrots that you uproot from the ground, so it is sandy. So you want to make sure that you wash it very well, even though they did that before they brought it to the store, but you still want to make sure that you wash it properly to make sure that you don't have any trace of sand. So you can see I washed it properly many times to be sure that I am fine. Okay, so wash all the chunks of it, and this is how grandma taught me. Okay, she told me you have to wash it, pour the water out, because we used to use this container, to not a sink. Grandma didn't have a sink. Okay, she had a bowl. We used to get water from the stream, sometimes from the borehole. We called it borehole. And grandma made sure that I took my time to wash the cassava to make sure that the sand is off. So after washing it and completely the sand is off, we're going to set it aside. Okay, and here is my fresh coconut. I'm going to use 2 coconuts because I'm not going to eat it alone. I'm eating it with my family. So first of all, I'm going to extract the coconut water, and this is how grandma taught me. We used to use hammer or rock to hit it. So if you're not used to it, don't try this so that you do not hurt your hand, but grandma had taught me over the years and I'm used to it. So you can see I'm pouring the fresh coconut water into a strainer which is inside a jug. The purpose of the strainer is to catch the particles so that it doesn't get into the coconut water. Okay, so I'm going to break this second one using my hammer as well, because like I said, I am used to it, and my grandmother made sure that I was comfortable using this, either hammer or a rock. That is a big rock. That's what we used to use back home. Okay, I don't know how other people open their coconuts, but this is my grandmother's strategy and it works for me every single time. So I'm breaking my coconut to make sure that I break it into smaller chunks so that I'll be able to remove it from the shell. So I'm removing my strainer and I'm pouring my fresh coconut water into a glass, and I'm going to enjoy it first because coconut water is very energizing. It gives you so much energy, and I'm going to drink it first to make sure that I have energy to prepare this food. Okay, and guess what? When you hear fresh coconut water, this is the main one without any preservative. This is what you want. This is what your body needs. Fresh, organic. So I am drinking it. Oh guys, this coconut water tastes so good. So good. So good. Ooh. I'm peeling the coconut from the shell. I'm removing it from the shell now. Okay, and you can see that I'm using knife. And again, if you haven't tried this before, you want to be careful with your hands, but my grandma had taught me so well that I did it over the years and I'm used to it. I'm used to removing coconut from the shell using knife, and I do not have any cuts. I don't wound myself because my grandma showed me how to do it over the years and I am perfectly fine. And another thing is that my grandma had a coconut tree in our house, so whenever we wanted to do this, it was farm fresh organic. If you're from Africa, you know that back home we eat healthy, we eat organic, we eat foods that we grow straight from our garden, and we don't put preservatives, no chemical, nothing, straight from our garden, no chemical, no preservative. So grandma had fresh coconut tree in her garden, so we used to pluck it from there and then we eat it, and then the yucca root straight from our garden too. So everything was organic. yeah, cooking time. After washing my cassava, my yucca roots, I place it in my pot. You can see I'm adding some salt and I poured in some water. I didn't measure the water because it depends on how many yucca roots you're cooking. I added a little bit of salt to here for test. That's the only thing I'm going to put. And I cover my pot. I want to tell you that if you want to put, when you want to put some water, you put it, let the water cover the yucca roots, let it cover the yucca roots, okay? And then you cover your pot like this. So after 10 to 15 minutes, this is what it looks like. Now with yucca roots or cassava, tapioca, whatever you want to call it, it takes a little bit of time to cook. It takes some time, okay? Not a little bit of time, but it's not going to be up to 1 hour. No. So I cooked it for, after that 10 minutes, I opened the pot and it wasn't soft. So I covered my pot again, as you can see, and I'm going to cook it for another 10 to 15 minutes. And after that, let's see what it looks like. All right, yeah, so our yucca root is ready, our cassava is ready, okay? So how will you know when your cassava or yucca root is ready to be eaten? How will you know? I'm going to show you how you can tell when your yucca root is ready to be eaten, because you don't want it to be hard. Just like when you eat rice, you don't want it to be too hard. No, you want it to be soft but still firm, okay? So you can see, I had to bring my camera close for you to see. You can see that it's it cracked open. So this is when you know that it's soft and it's ready to be eaten. You see that it will be open, it cracked open in between the yucca root. Have you seen this? This is a sign. This is what you need to know, okay, when you're cooking it. So at this point, it is ready. It is not too soft and it's not strong, just okay. So it cracked open, telling you that you're ready to eat your yucca root, okay? So I hope this is helpful. This is a helpful tip for you. So yes, I'm going to transfer it into a plate. Yeah, transfer your yucca root into a plate, and then we are ready to make this the eatable part of it, okay? So you can see that in between this yucca root, this cassava, there's this stringy, this thing. What's that? Is that a stem or something? What is that, a stem? So you want to remove this part and throw it away. You don't want to eat that. You want to remove this part, put it in the trash, okay? Or you pour it in your garden as compost. For me, that's what I'm doing. So you want to remove this thing in between this yucca, okay, and put it in the trash. You don't need this, okay, because this is strong, kind of hard. It's not soft for you to eat. So my grandmother taught me that you have to always remove that part. Always remember to remove that part and throw it away. Now in my dialect, we call this editaiwa. I think Igbo people call it abacha, okay? So it has a lot of names, but my grandmother used to call it editaiwa, and it's sweet with coconut, with mackerel fish. I mean, oh, it's so good. So yeah, I'm cutting my tapioca, my cassava, yucca roots, whatever you want to call it. Cut it like this cut it into small pieces like this. Not too small, not too big, okay? Just moderate, like what I'm doing. Because if you cut it too big, not gonna really make sense. But then if you cut it too small, it might the water, because you're going to keep it overnight, is not going to really look good, because it might, should I say, wither a little bit in the water that you're going to soak it in. So yeah, you want to cut it normal sizes, like not too big, not too small, like this, okay? So I'm just going to repeat the same process for all these all this yucca root, all this cassava, the ones that I removed from that water. And I want to tell you again that I threw away that hot water. Okay, so or you can put it in your garden, but you have to leave it for a while to cool down before you throw it into your garden, because that is still compost, that is still manure. So my grandmother taught me that things that you do in your kitchen, you throw it into your garden to act as compost, like banana leaves, this cassava, the yucca roots. Remember the bark that we cut, that we peeled out? You're not putting that in the trash, that is going straight to the garden. That is what my grandmother taught me, and so I did the same. After cooking, peeling off the cassava bark, I threw the peels into my garden. And that's what I always do with all my fruits, vegetables. I dump them in my garden because my grandmama taught me how to do that. Okay, so I'm putting some water into my container of yucca root here, as you can see, to make sure that it gets to the top, that I'll then soak it, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'd like to know, guys, what your grandma taught you. Like, if you were close to your grandma, I want to know. Okay, so I want to know. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. The next day I put this in the fridge for overnight. You have to put it in the fridge overnight. So after the following day, not after the following day, you bring it out like this, and then we are going to wash it like this. Put it into a strainer, and then you pour it in back into your container, add some more water, and then you repeat the same process. This is what my grandma taught me. Okay, she told me. So Suruvia Sylvia, when you want to do it, you want to take your time. But she said it in my dialect, because I told you grandma didn't know how to speak English. This is my fresh coconut that I'm going to enjoy. I just wanted to show you guys these. So I washed my cassava about 4 or 5 times, and then this is it. I strain out the water, and then I put it back in my plate. This is ready to be eaten. Editaiwa kesap, that means abacha, that means yucca roots and fresh coconut. This is it. This is so delicious. So I want to know, guys, like I said before, let me know in the comment section what you learned from your grandma, and if you guys were close. Thank you so much for watching.